Alright guys, so I was able to finally get my hands on the brand new Sony PlayStation Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds. And I feel like this video should have some kind of disclaimer. I think it should really point out the fact that these are made for the PlayStation 5 first, and audio like from a mobile device or a tablet is kind of an afterthought. I think this is one of those you kind of have to know what you're getting into before actually buying these. So we're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about the features that these have. We're going to talk about how awesome it is that the case looks like an actual PlayStation 5. And I want to go ahead and start with the price of these. Now, these do come in at $199, and PlayStation is obviously owned by Sony, and Sony I'm a huge fan of. If there's any company that I am a fanboy of, it has always been Sony. I love the PlayStation, I love their earbuds, their headphones, and I've really never hidden that. Now, I do think the Sony WF-1000XM5, which is basically their top-of-the-line true wireless earbuds from last year, was kind of a letdown. I feel like it was overpriced, and I even think that the previous model was actually better. So I'm not one to shy away from actually giving my true opinion, even if it's on a company that I'm a huge fan of, and that is going to definitely apply to this review. Now, the first thing that I want to point out is obviously it's made for the PlayStation 5. The case looks like a PlayStation 5. The case actually slides open to reveal these very unique looking earbuds. The design of these stand out. It actually makes these look rather large. And I am going to go ahead and say this too. The design of these actually keep them from being as comfortable as other earbuds as well. In fact, the way that they're meant to be sitting in your ear, I didn't find to be as comfortable as having them sit where the top of the earbud is actually facing down. I got a better seal this way. And to get a good seal, you're going to want to make sure that you switch between all of the different earbuds. That is going to make a huge difference in the performance of these. But I kind of say that with every earbud that I test anyway. Now, as far as actually using them outdoors, there is no official IP rating. This, again, makes sense if you're going to mainly be using them for the PlayStation 5. They're obviously not meant to be used outdoors anyway. They do use two different types of connections. Now, it does have Bluetooth, so you can connect to, again, your mobile device, your tablet, your laptop, or anything if you want to do it that way. But it also comes with a USB dongle, and this is how it takes advantage of what they call their PlayStation Link connection. This is a fast, accurate connection. This is the best way to get, a true response like instantly if you're going to be gaming, which again, obviously these are made for. If you're going to be gaming on your PlayStation or your PC using that USB dongle, you can have these connected through Bluetooth to your phone and listen to music while you're gaming or take a phone call while you're gaming. So it's very convenient that you're able to do that. And using the PlayStation Link connection with the PlayStation 5, this is how you can take advantage of also the 3D audio that the PlayStation 5 allows these to take advantage of. You just have to go into the settings of the PlayStation to actually toggle this on. And this is what is going to allow you to really just kind of immerse yourself into gaming. Now, we'll talk about that a little bit more once we get to the sound. Now, as far as what you're getting inside the box, it does come with 4 sets of silicone ear tips. It does come with a USB-C charging cable. And speaking of the charging cable, which you're going to have to use because the case on these is not a Qi wireless charging case, in the battery life, you're only going to get about 5 hours on the earbuds and around 12 to 15 hours total using the case. So battery life is definitely on the weak side if you're going to compare these to normal true wireless earbuds. But if you're going to kind of compare them to like gaming earbuds, there's not really much to compare them to. I think that's kind of what makes these stand out, is this is kind of the first of its kind, especially for PlayStation users. And I think the battery life of these kind of pretty much matches up with the battery life of the controller itself. So kind of keep in mind you're going to have to take a break if the controller's about to die, and maybe that's your time to be able to charge these. And as far as I've seen, there's no fast charging, so you are going to have to probably wait somewhere like an hour to an hour and a half to fully charge these. Now, I do want to go back into the design and the functionality of the case. Now, if you look at the, I guess we'll call it the bottom of the case, you can see a USB-C port for charging, and you have to slide open the lid to actually access the earbuds. And you'll see a little light blinking. That's an indicator to kind of let you know that, your earbuds are charging. Inside the case is where you have a link button. This is how you would basically put these into Bluetooth mode to be able to connect them to your phone. And the earbuds don't use touch controls. They actually use physical buttons that are located on the top and bottom part of these little wings that stick out. But the controls are only good for gaming use. You can only use them if they're plugged into your PlayStation or if they're plugged into a PC using that PlayStation Link USB dongle. I mean, you cannot control anything using Bluetooth. So basically means if you're going to use these with Bluetooth, you're going to have to pull out your phone to do everything. Even play, pause, skip your tracks forward, go backwards, volume control, like everything has to be done on the phone. And I just think this is an odd choice if you're going to make a device that you can use for both. I think Sony could have at least taken the approach to maybe use tap functions for mobile controls and still had physical buttons for being able to control different things with the PlayStation. So the controls are really limited. You have volume controls at the top, and then you have link buttons at the bottom, and that's all that you can do on these earbuds. And again, that's only with the PlayStation and only using them with like your PC or your Mac. Now, as far as using these for gaming and obviously using the mics on these, I think the mics could have been better. Maybe I just expected better from a pair that's made for gaming. I think the sound of my voice, it picked up fine. I don't feel like it has a full-bodied sound to it. But what makes these stand out when it comes to the microphone is basically what they're calling AI noise reduction. I mean, it's made to where even if you're gaming with these and like chewing on anything like chips or anything that's going to crunch, any sound that's not a voice, it's not going to pick up. It's trying to block all of that out, and it's doing some AI stuff to do it. And in some kind of magical way, it really does work. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. So here is the mic test using the Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds, and it sounds okay, but I mean, really for a wireless gaming pair of earbuds, I just expected something a little bit more. But this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call or if you're using these while gaming. So now here's a mic test with a crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is kind of what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound. And I want to start with the fact that these are using planar magnetic drivers, which I did not expect because Sony has not used this in any of their true wireless earbuds. Planar magnetic drivers are usually used in more high-end IEMs and things like that. And they actually have a completely different type of sound than normal dynamic drivers or balanced armature drivers. So I think that like most consumers are going to be a little thrown off by this. They're going to feel like it's lacking something, or maybe it's just a little elevated too much on one thing, but that's just really the characteristics of planar magnetic drivers. And so with saying that, these are very detailed earbuds, especially when it comes to gaming. I think the mids are definitely pushed forward, and this is what you want in any kind of gaming headset or gaming earbud. The mids are where you're going to hear dialogue. It's going to be where you hear those subtle footsteps, and it's just going to pull those type of things out. And this is what these earbuds really excel out. And same thing with the treble. Treble's pulled out. The treble's definitely bumped up where it has a nice clean feel to it. I don't feel like the treble is overly bright. I feel like the bass on these, although they're not like overly boomy or powerful or anything like that, it causes them to have a slight warm feel to them. And I think that's what lends these to have like a more natural sound. And in gaming, this is kind of what I like to have. I don't like for the bass to be too much where it dulls everything out, but I also don't like for things to be too bright where it's not really enjoyable to listen to. I think if things are too bright or too harsh for too long, you can't really use them as long as something that sounds a little bit more neutral. Now, the low end on these, if you're a bass head, I don't think this is going to be a pair that really stands out. The bass, I'm not going to say it lacks. I think it's a little more accurate. I think it's a little more contained than main consumer-friendly type of earbuds. It's not trying to give you that subwoofer type feel. It's just trying to give you enough where you can kind of feel explosions or know what's going on or have that impact of like bullets hitting you. It's trying to add to that without overdoing it. I think, again, the star of the show, especially when it comes to gaming, are the mids and the treble. Now, when it comes to listening to these with music, I feel like the quality of the sound is better using the PlayStation Link or USB dongle. It feels like things are a lot quicker. It feels like things transition better, especially bass. It feels tighter. The details just, again, seem to come out more. And I don't know why that is between the connection of the USB dongle compared to Bluetooth. But the Bluetooth connection seems to kind of focus maybe a little bit more on the low end. It sounds warmer. It doesn't sound as clean or detailed as it does with the USB dongle. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't sound clean at all, but it just doesn't have the exact same details as it does listening in the other method. But it still is very enjoyable to listen to. I felt like it does really good with pretty much every genre that I threw at it. It does an excellent job with podcasts and movies and TV shows. But again, you can just tell that this pair is tuned in a way and focused in a way where it's made for gaming. And so the soundstage and the sound imaging on Bluetooth is okay, but with the PlayStation Link dongle or whatever you want to call it, it is so much better. And especially if you're going to use these with the PlayStation, having that 3D audio turned on, it opens things up very, very wide. And it just does a really good job of being able to tell where different sounds and things are coming from. So my overall opinion is, keep in mind that this is a gaming pair of earbuds first. You cannot go into these expecting these to be like your main earbuds for music, because you're going to lack in a lot of different things. And that's the battery life, the controls, there's no noise canceling, there's no Qi wireless charging, and at that $200 price point, those are some pretty big sacrifices. But as a gaming pair of earbuds, you're getting basically something that's, one of a kind, especially if you're a PlayStation 5 user. It just works seamlessly. It sounds incredible with the PlayStation 5. You can hear a lot of details. You can hear things move from left to right, up and down. There's just so much depth and detail in these earbuds. And again, I think that's what they were focused on first. I think it's just really an afterthought that you can use these with your mobile device. And I think for that, it's okay. But on the gaming side, I was extremely pleased with these. Even gaming with my PC, I was very happy with all the subtle details and things that these picked up. So really just kind of keep in mind what you're wanting to use these for as to if it's really worth it. I mean, if you wanted to break it apart, you could find a really good gaming headset for $100 and also a really good pair of true wireless earbuds for $100. And you have two things that are great at different things instead of having one that's really good at one and okay at another. But the convenience and the ability to have one thing that can still do both, it still might be worth it to you. So guys, that's my video on the brand new Sony PlayStation Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.